Welcome to MedRoom Chronicles, Nursing Uncensored. Join nurses and other care providers as they let you in on discussions usually reserved for the privacy of the locked medication room. In this weekly nursing podcast, the filters come off and we tell it like it is. Your hosts, nurses Adrianne Benning, Andrew Craig, and Brad McLaughlin, are here to educate and entertain on all things in the nursing world. This podcast is intended for nursing students, nurses, or anyone who wants a sneak peek into the real world of bedside nursing. So join us, laugh along the way, and maybe learn a little something too. And thanks for listening, guys. Hello, nurses. Here at MedRoom Chronicles, we may be uncensored, but we are not unfiltered. Protected health information has been changed and concealed to comply with HIPAA. The things we talk about are combinations of years of experience with thousands of patients, things we've read, or stories we've heard. If you think we're talking about you, we're not. Also, we're real nurses here to provide accurate and helpful information, but don't take us as fact without doing your own research. Refer to your state's Board of Nursing, Practice Acts, and your institution's policies and procedures if you have questions about your practice. Lastly, our very strong opinions are ours alone and do not reflect that of our employers or educational institutions. Thanks for listening, and happy nursing, folks.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Oh Lord, I'm gonna have to start logging in like 20 fucking minutes early. This computer is a goddamn nightmare. It logged me into the Hangout as myself twice, which I didn't know was possible, and I was getting screeching feedback, and then getting your pop-ups, and I was like, oh. Can you guys hear me?
No, I can't. No, I'm just kidding.
What's up, Brad? How you doing?
Oh, yeah. You guys, Brad, Andrew, Brad. I know you've met, but now you have again.
We've met.
We have. We're old friends, Adrian. This is old news. You're behind the times.
Like, you guys have no idea how fucking angry I am.
She's always behind.
I'm, like, fuming because my house is a mess, and I had 2 hellish nights, and I have 1 night off, and then I work 2 more, and then I have 1 night off, and then I work 2 more, and I kind of want to murder the whole planet. So please hold while I plug in these earphones.
We should start.
Oh my God, that's so loud! Oh, I'm gonna jump off a bridge tonight.
Is this recording? Because this is really great material.
It is. Oh my God. Seriously, guys, I had like 2 total care patients, and
she had my assignment basically.
Yeah, and oh God, I did a really good job, but I was like, I'm gonna start punching walls. Yeah, hi guys.
Hi.
Hey, Adrian.
All right. So let me make sure I got our volumes right, and then we can just get started.
Adrian just needs to go back to work.
Oh my God. I have to do all my homework tonight. This place is a fucking pigsty, and I'm a clumsy person. So when this place is not orderly, bad things happen. So anyway.
You have to do homework?
Yeah, dude. Here's the thing, and this is also what sucks about certain classes. This is a comment for all the students out there. Let's just get started. Welcome to MedRoom Chronicles.
let's just go for it.
We have just let it all hang loose, guys. We're on episode, I don't even know what. And here we are. Yeah, here we are.
This isn't 7.
No, because here's the thing. Now we're at the phase of the game where we can no longer say really what episode it is because we have so much content recorded right now that I haven't edited or gotten up because we're just doing once a week. So we're going to have a meeting, guys, and decide if we want to do some bonus content or if we want to do a couple extra releases or give away some free I don't know. But we got a lot of stuff and we keep producing more, which is great. I want it to keep flowing. I want to have a huge bank. But yeah, here we are. Episode blah, blah, blah. So I want to take a second just at the start of the show. I know we are just ready to dive right in, but I do want to give a shout out to our people on the interwebs, because now we're amassing a small following of people. And I was just doing this because I thought it would be fun, and I thought it would be fun to do it with you guys, and I thought if people listen, that's cool. And now people are like saying nice things, and I'm getting emails from strangers, and oh boy.
Yay.
Yeah, so I want to say hi to everybody out there. We are paying attention to you. We're kind of still figuring out the social media game, but we're paying attention, and we love the comments. We love the ratings. We want to know what you want to hear. We've gotten some topic requests. So, hello, everybody. We're here again.
Yes, carry on being awesome. We appreciate the support. We definitely notice. It makes me smile every time I see a nice comment.
I'm like a Pavlovian dog. Every time I get a like, I'm like on my phone, like, oh, somebody else who I've never met before likes what we're doing. So,
or any of us have met, really.
Yeah. So, and also, like, I've had coworkers say things, and they're sharing it in class, and I am like, oh, I should probably start watching my mouth if people are paying attention.
No.
I hope everyone that's out there that's going, God, their audio kind of, I don't know. We're working on it. I am not a audiophile. Yes, I know, Andrew. He's shoving this big, giant gray mic in my face. If my room behind me wasn't such a mess, I would consider just putting this all on the air. And Brad is just a blue floating head over, like,
that's what I am anyway.
Yeah, that's what Brad looks like. He has no face. He's just a blue silhouette. So yes, the audio is going to improve as time goes on. But, oh my God, we should have said this from the top. This is the first time, guys,
we've all been together
in Medroom Chronicles history. Our whole 6 episodes, 8 episodes, whatever, whenever this comes out. But yeah, welcome, guys.
So, that is super cool. This is like monumental business here right now. It's getting together under the same roof, essentially, the internet roof. Finally, it's only taken
a month, 2 months, yeah.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, and actually, it's also even more appropriate that we're all here together tonight, because our topic, the thing that we are here to talk to you all about, is a very important ritual that we all share. This is, I don't want to be exclusive to shifts, but this is kind of a night shift thing. But guys, we're talking about Nightshift Breakfast. After shift, it is a ritual, it is an experience, it is a rite of passage. The reason it's so appropriate that this is our first show together is because the one and only time you guys have been face to face was at breakfast.
Yep.
So why don't you guys? I'm gonna sit back for a second and eat a couple Raisinets. Why don't you guys talk about about your perceptions and experiences with breakfast? Explain to people what it is.
Why don't you go ahead and start, Brad?
Me? Oh, I love breakfast. Anyway, for me, going out to breakfast in the morning, I mean, we all have a bitch session, but it's kind of a way to kind of wind down, have a few drinks, get to talk about things that just happen,
and eat breakfast after a 12-hour shift. Because
the day shift can't eat breakfast at the end of their shift.
Well, they could, but it wouldn't be as fun.
I don't think so. I don't. What does day shift do? Do they even? Sure.
I think they do from time to time, but you got to remember, when I get off work in the morning, Doug is at work. And so me going to breakfast and sitting at breakfast for an hour doesn't affect our time together. And so if I were doing this in the evening, I wouldn't be as likely to go out with the crew to eat, because I want to go home and see, my people that I love at home and my animals. So I think that breakfast is a little bit different because, for one, you're getting off work really early, and there are some places that are open really early, so it's easy to slip in, get a table, get your breakfast eaten, get home and get into bed, within an hour and a half.
It doesn't take that long, right?
Sometimes but also remember there have been times I've gone to breakfast, boozy breakfast, and we've left at 2. So
Yeah.
So an hour for me is a good, nice, relaxed breakfast.
It's true.
Oh man.
Well, and then there's the time that Andrew and I talked about in a previous episode where Emily and I went to Target and spent 2 hours at Target after going to breakfast.
Oh, that is so dangerous.
It was like having dementia in Target for an hour and 45 minutes. We're just like wandering around, taking selfies, playing with things.
Well, I told you that one time after breakfast, I had like a gin and tonic, or maybe 2 of them. I was feeling very loosey-goosey tank because I don't drink that often anyway. Maybe once a month or so. I was totally wasted off of 2 drinks. I'm such a lightweight. I go to Target and I'm just like, groceries for all. And then $500 later, I'm walking out with a cart and a half full of shit that I really didn't need. I think Sarah was there. I'm pretty sure Sarah was there.
Brad, have you ever gone?
It could be dangerous.
Have you ever gone shopping after night shift, Brad?
Only for food, and I usually end up buying things I would never buy. But
right?
Like what? Like what's something that you would buy that you would hate to admit as a healthy nurse? Are you eating Twinkies? Like what are you getting?
I don't remember, but sometimes I kind of break down. Sometimes I break down and get McDonald's, which I really don't ever get McDonald's. Ever.
We do McDonald's breakfast. That's all. We don't. I don't know why that feels more rational to us, but
sometimes you just want a hash brown.
That's true. Okay, guys, it's like 11 p.m. and I'm getting really hungry. I'm going to have to make bacon and eggs after we finish this episode. But I want to keep us back on track because our tangents are amazing. But I do want
it has to do with breakfast.
Yeah, it does. But I want to just give a little structure. I want to say just a couple more things as your benevolent leader. Is that what I am?
I don't know about benevolent, but
before the sun rises or sunsets on her 16th birthday.
Hey, stop quoting Disney.
Guys, Brad's going to Disney in 10 days and I hate him.
You don't even want to go.
Well, I kind of am starting to want to go, and also I'm kind of upset that you're not going to be around for all that time, and I'm not going to be able to text you 8,000 times a day. So this is affecting my life, man.
You can still text me.
You can respond as appropriate, on the teacups or something. Anyway, what I wanted to say is Iowa City at least has a number of pretty good breakfast spots, and I don't want to name them by name because I don't know what the legality is of that, even though I'm saying only good things. Maybe I should name them. But there are some places that we go that are open early. The food is decent to great, depending on which spot it is. And there are even some places where there's one spot where you can go to eat breakfast, but you can go to the bar next door and the servers will bring the food to the bar next door. And that's where I once, ended up eating breakfast and drinking till 2 p.m, which I want to make very clear, I'm not an alcoholic. I don't drink on a regular basis, but if we go out to breakfast, I'll have a couple drinks. And that's enough to lull me. I talk about it often. I just don't want people thinking I don't drink alone. And I don't drink a lot. No, I don't. I really don't. If I'm with you guys, technically I'm alone right now, but I'm talking to you guys, so I am having a cocktail.
A giant one.
Well, it's not full. It's only full up to here. I'm not drinking a 32-ounce cocktail, guys. Making me sound bad here.
So, while I have to agree with you on Iowa City, there are a few. I'm from the Northeast, and Portland, Maine has some of the best food in the country.
I'm not saying we're the authority. I'm just saying we've got a couple nice spots that,
I'm not totally shitting on Iowa City.
But I will say, as a food tourist, pretty much every city we go to, we need to find the best breakfast spots. And sometimes we'll even do breakfast for breakfast and dinner. So
listen,
I'll take you to 3.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, Madison, Wisconsin has some of the best fucking breakfast I've ever had.
Battle of the Cities.
And I'm telling you, The cheese curds in the morning is so glorious because it's cheese and it's fried and it makes you feel so damn good.
Oh, I do love cheese and I do love fried things, but I don't. That just no. I want like cheesy grits. I want Southern. I want thick cut. I want thick cut. I'm not. I was born and raised in Illinois. Illinois. God, I'm tired. I slept like 3 hours today on the couch, and Doug took a hideous photo of me and then texted it to me, which was hilarious. But anyway, yeah. So God, now I want to go to breakfast. You guys want to drive out here and come to breakfast with me?
The first time I heard the word grits, I was like, what the hell are those? Like, there's only one place in Maine that serves grits.
Does polenta trigger your bougie sensibilities a little bit more?
It does more, yes.
All right, well, guess what? This is deconstructed polenta.
Oh.
Which still isn't great. I don't really love polenta.
I think, it's one of those things growing up I hated. You couldn't pay me to eat it, but as an adult, done the right way, I won't just eat any grits. I'll say that. I'm a discriminating grits eater.
So we should go around and say what our favorite breakfast is.
Okay, I don't want grits to be my favorite. That's not. I like it, but I'm just saying I prefer Southern to like Northern-ish kinds of breakfast. But my favorite thing that I get is actually a Cajun omelet, which has. It's a fat ass omelet. There's probably 8,000 calories in it. I'm sorry to report, but it has like sausage, like andouille sausage and ham and onions and peppers and herbed cream cheese. It's actually stuffed with fucking cream cheese, you guys. So you basically like cut into it and you get like this veggie meat egg with like warm melted cream cheese with like more cheese on top and then hash browns. That's it. Sign me up for that. Oh my God, I'm so hungry right now.
Okay, Andrew.
Okay, Brad. My turn. Okay.
I beat you.
So I love skillets. I love small sauteed potatoes, over medium eggs, cheese, vegetables, a spritz of jalapeno, and a glorious pile of steamy gravy on top.
Steamy gravy for some reason is tripping my gag reflex a little bit. And then she wiped the steamy gravy from his lip.
Ugh. Gross.
See what I'm saying?
No, now you're making it sound less sexy. No, steamy
I'm
gravy.
sorry.
It's more like
gravy was never sexy.
Yeah, because you're gonna make me
Which
vomit.
I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what happened to me. I have an earworm. I've been listening to this TS video song on repeat all day. I can't help it. I watched it by accident, and now
by accident.
Okay, it was on purpose.
Yeah.
But I only tried it once, and I didn't think I would get addicted.
It's a horrible video.
I
this
love
is coming
it.
from the person that hates pop, but
I do, and actually, guys, I haven't felt this way about a pop song since like Gwen Stefani went all like crazy weird pop. So this is tripping back into my early 20s, and I'm not quite sure what's happening to me.
Oh man,
he has some serious moves. She's
like a Barbie doll. I'm like, your thighs don't move.
Okay then.
Yep. So, Brad, give it to me. Tell me.
Oh, yeah, my favorite breakfast.
Your sexiest breakfast you could ever possibly have, along with the drink. Pair a drink for me. Give it to me good, Brad.
Oh, I think Adrian already knows this answer.
Yeah, I do. But this is your time to shine.
Let's see. So I usually get eggs Benedict, and it has to be like the eggs have to be poached perfectly, or I send that back because when I cut into it, when I cut into it, I want those yolks to run.
That's important. I'm sorry. I'll shut up. You finish.
Well, you can put hollandaise on anything, and I'll eat it. So, like,
I'm gonna have to test this
I
theory.
find any excuse to get hollandaise sauce.
Here's a rice cake with some hollandaise on it.
I would totally eat it.
Here's some white bread and hollandaise.
And I'm pretty
I
traditional.
feel like your relationship with hollandaise is my relationship with gravy.
Yes,
and is
but
my relationship with this music video.
So
You're right.
hollandaise is different because it's melted butter. Gravy is like flour and water
and lard.
The glorious lard.
The roux. The beautiful roux.
I think we probably have to like chop up a line of simvastatin to cover the amount of cholesterol.
Snort some atorvastatin. Is that what we're doing?
Right.
20 milligrams.
Don't do that, folks. That's a joke. Don't do that. That is not medical advice.
Don't do lines of cholesterol medicine without the approval of your doctor.
And no suppository.
That's right.
I can just hear it now. Children dropping out of school doing that atorvastatin.
Here's the deal. I want to reel in the reason why I love breakfast. There's a bunch of reasons, but one of the reasons why is you get to really connect with the people you work with on a whole different level. Would you agree?
Yes, because here, I'm going to jump in because here's the thing. To clarify, for those who haven't experienced it or don't know, to be really specific, you're going to breakfast with the people you've just spent 12 hours working with. And if you've had a good chill night at work, a unicorn shift, as we've started referring to it as, then everybody's happy and has plenty of energy and wants to go to breakfast, and it's a delightful thing. And if it's a bad shift, you want to go to breakfast because you got some shit to get off your chest. So either way, as long as you know you're not all getting out late and you have to be back and there's like all this shit slowing you down, then yeah, it's a cathartic experience. We have to be very cautious at all times because we're in public, so we can't be like, Joe Blow's penis ulcer is looking mighty gross these days. So
is that how we talk, Andrew?
Is that how we talk, Andrew?
That's how I talk after one drink and some breakfast.
Right.
I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
You guys, I'm a very animated person. I can't help it. Inside, really, I'm terrified of my own shadow. So
I think when it's a bad night, it does turn into the bitch session. But when it's a good night,
then it's fun.
Yeah.
And also, obviously I try to get along with everyone, but sometimes you just get a group of people that you just click with and it becomes like a social event and nobody wants to really go home and go to bed.
Right.
But, I don't know. I've just had so many. I don't even know what to pinpoint first because I've had so many good experiences at breakfast. And also, Brad, the last time we went, we walked in and there was like an entire 6-person round table of doctors sitting drinking beers.
I know.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They were all in our scrubs. Yeah.
Right on. Do you think they were bitching about nurses during that time?
I wonder.
Who knows? Here's the thing. I don't spend really any time bitching about other services. Like maybe if a doctor doesn't call me back and it makes me nervous because my patient's crumping, that's one thing. But I'm not sitting around being like, that dietary aid pushed the cart right in front of my door. I'm not. You guys, this is how you know that I'm quoting. These are my characters. Okay? This is how I'm conveying emotion to people.
No, I will only complain about a service when they really fuck me over.
Yeah, or if they cause some kind of distress for the patient, whatever.
Well,
but I'd like to think they're not bitching about us. I'd like to think they're just talking about what golf outing they're going on next weekend. I mean, not to be a jerk, but.
Or what nurse to commandeer? I mean, come on, let's be honest. All those times you've heard of nurses and doctors hooking up in the middle of the night in the resident room.
Does that actually happen? Am I naive? Am I totally naive? Am I just missing all of the drama going on?
Here's my perception of the hospital. Everywhere around me is like Grey's Anatomy except for my life.
Right. Yeah,
that's basically what I've figured figured out.
I haven't walked in on anybody. Like, our broom closets are locked. Like, where are people doing it? Like, there's cameras everywhere.
I'm going to give you an example.
And it's gross, guys.
No. I had an assignment in Oregon, and there was a room that locked. It had 2 chairs in it, and it was affectionately known as, among the staff before we got there, it was called the Boom Boom Room.
No way.
Wait.
Please tell me it's because people pooped in there.
No, hell no. That's
my God.
Baby making action going on in there.
I get that. Oh, God.
What the hell do you do with 2 chairs?
I'm suddenly picturing Cirque du Soleil type shit.
How do you make that work?
This is a different episode, guys. Hold that thought. Save that. But okay, so next I don't even know where to go from here. Like, you're blowing my mind. Really? I don't know. Maybe
it's so surprising. Come on.
I don't even like sitting to pee at the hospital. Like, why would I want to, like...
You're telling me you don't feel sexy in your scrubs, all strutting your stuff?
Dude, oh my God, I sweat like a fucking disgusting man.
She really does.
No, I keep like Stridex pads in my bag because otherwise I look like a 16-year-old with acne. Like, I am not sexy at work. Like, I'm wearing bike shorts under my pants in case my pants rip again, which has happened to me before. Like, there's not sexy happening there. Like, my hair and makeup is usually on point, but the rest of me is like, let's keep arm's length. I might smell bad. Like, let's not do that. Like, I keep deodorant in my locker, guys. We're working, we're turning, we're rolling. I had a patient who was on a bear hugger. Her temperature was like 32 Celsius or some crazy shit. So I've got I'm like trying to do cares on her, and the hot air is just like radiating up at me. And I actually started pulling a Dan, and I was wearing a sweatband on my wrist so I could dab my brow. Guys, this is serious. Medication side effects are not anything to play with, man.
And this is the end of your public service announcement.
Yes. So basically, why are people having sex in this environment? Like, don't. I don't believe it.
Specific example from units that I have previously worked on. Or
guys, I'm too young to hear this stuff.
No, I think he needs to continue.
Oh God. I need hand sanitizer.
Keep going, Andrew.
Oh, gee. That's all. The Boom Boom Room was it. That's my singer. That's all I've got.
I'm rubbing hand sanitizer on my brain. That's so gross.
Oh, come on.
No, really. You guys aren't just like, I can't. Maybe it's just me. I'm like so mortified at that thought. Look.
You're telling me.
So, like, are they like in this room, like getting it on, and they hear in the background, bing, bing, like, really? That's sexy to people?
I'm pretty sure if it was a call room, they would not be hearing that, first off.
Well, our call room was right next to a palliative room.
That sucks.
Do people actually even use that room over there?
I've cried in that room before.
Oh, great.
On orientation. It was like a really hard day. And I just went in, and Anne, God bless her, was like, just do some charting in here for a little while. And I was like, charting. I was texting Lindsay going, tell me to just stop and get on with it. And she'd be like, you're fine. Go back to work. And I was like, okay.
That's exactly what I would say. You better be glad I was not here, Adrianne. Say it.
Oh, man. I'm telling you.
What would you have said at that point, Brad? What would you have given? What advice would you have given Adrianne at that moment?
At that moment, suck it up and get out there.
Yeah. Well,
but look how far you've come, Adrianne.
Here's the thing. As a side note, I was having panic attacks at work, is what was happening. So it wasn't just me being a puss. I mean, I was, but it was because I was having, my sympathetic nervous system was sabotaging me. Anyway, guys, breakfast. Okay, see, this is what happens at breakfast, though. Like, it's Tangent City.
This is about right, though. This is like we're having breakfast now.
Except I'm still hungry. Yeah. No, I think it's really important that we have this time. It does give me... I didn't give my drink pairing. Brad, what was your drink pairing with your Florentine? Or Benedict. Sorry, you're Benedict. Excuse me.
Excuse you. I said I was traditional and like mimosas.
Mimosas, that's right. And Andrew, what's your bevy?
It's either a gloriously fresh... Let me back it up. Edit that shit out. It's a...
gloriously fresh? I'm leaving that shit in.
I'm tired. Okay, I'm tired. So I really love gin and tonics with a little lime. Oh, it's so refreshing. It's uplifting.
Yeah.
If I'm feeling a little more, I need some volume, some fullness. I like stouts a lot, darker beers.
Breakfast beer, yes. A meal in a glass.
Yes. Oh yeah.
A good white Russian always hits the spot too.
Yeah, I will often, because I'm unhealthy, I will have like one whiskey and Coke and a glass of water. And sometimes I'll change it up, and depending on where we go, like I've gotten, I really love Kentucky Mules, basically bourbon, ginger beer, and lime.
Yep.
Tasty. Yeah, I think that the people that wait tables at the places that we go to for breakfast, I think they recognize us. They're, I think we have decent service most of the time. Once in a while, the food is off par, but the experience is worth it enough that I still don't care, and I'll still go back. But
what do you think these people are thinking when they're walking up to our table and they hear this muffling, and the conversation's getting louder and louder, and then all of a sudden, as soon as they get next to the table and they hear, yeah, when I stuck my finger in John Doe's ass.
I tried. See, guys, I'm forever the den mom. I'm always the person that's like, there are kids at the next table.
She really is.
Although the reason that I say those things is because usually I'm the one that's like, a fucking fuck. And then I'm like, oh, there's a 4-year-old right there. So I usually say these things not because other people are doing it, but because I'm like, oh, hey, Age, calm down. It's 8 a.m. There are families here.
Wait a minute. Also, I want to know why 4-year-olds are up at like 7:38. But
clearly you've never had children, Brad.
I don't want children. So
yeah, I don't either. But I know that on the days you want them to go to school, they don't want to get out of bed, and on the days that you just want to get some fucking sleep, they're up before the sun. Don't you know this? This is a universal truth about human children.
I also know that on the weekday, I have no time to take my kid out at 8 a.m. Right?
Well, what about, I don't know. I have no answer for you. Maybe, I don't know.
When's the last time you guys went to breakfast?
3 weeks ago?
Yeah, this is a problem if we have to go.
What's going on, people?
You know, okay, so here's the thing. And this is not anything bad about any of my coworkers. It's just the luck of the draw. There are some folks, they live in the opposite direction. They don't want to come to breakfast. So sometimes, depending on who's working, it's a little bit more difficult. I've backed out a few times just because I've had such a brutal shift that I'm like, I hate everyone and I just want to be in bed. So I've bowed out a couple times. So other people have gone to breakfast. I kind of have missed out a little bit. But, we had a renaissance of the Breakfast Club for a while there and it's not a club. Like, I call it that just because I'm a child of the 80s. Whatever, shut up. But I don't know. We had this, like, beautiful period of time where it was, like, breakfast all the time, more than I can afford. And now that I'm a nurse and I can afford to go to breakfast, nobody has time. Or if we do go, it's great, but it's not always happening. Or, we just have such heavy patient loads that we're, like, not getting out of there on time. So we're like, fuck breakfast, I'm going to bed.
I remember when we did our little powwow before Sarah and I left, and I specifically remember you being broke as fuck, Adrianne.
Yeah, as a nursing assistant, I was working 20 hours a week.
Yep.
I was doing clinicals on the weekends, classes in the evening. And my partner was an amazing person and kept me from starving to death. And it was pretty bad. So now that I'm even working 80%, I'm like, Bala! Like,
Making it rain.
I could buy toilet paper anytime I want to.
Woo, toilet paper.
My dinner costs $15 this time. Like, yeah. So I'm really I'm happy.
Terrible, Adrianne. There's poor souls out there that probably can't afford toilet paper.
Yeah, and I want to tell all of my nursing students out there, prospective nursing students, or actual working nurses that are trying to finish their degrees. It is worth it on the other side. And I'm still working on my degree. I'm not clearly out. I'm not working full time at the moment, but it just keep working. My dad used to say you can only run so far into the forest before you're running out again. So, not to get too serious, but breakfast is going to get better once you get through school. So suck it up, eat some shitty McDonald's, keep a granola bar in your bag, and you can come have Eggs Benny with us later. Okay? We'll be here. Breakfast Club will be here.
It will be here.
And I think I owe Dan a breakfast because I think he's salty that I didn't pay him back for his breakfasts.
Really?
Well, no, I'm giving him shit. I'm hoping he'll listen to this and he'll be like, "Oh yeah." There was once he made a joke about like, "Oh, you're gonna pay me back now," and I was like, "Fuck no, those were presents." So, and actually, the next time he's in town, I wanted to go see him play. He's coming back to town, but it's my mom's high school graduation. My mom's graduating from high school, guys. No, it's her high school reunion. So I'm going back to Illinois with my mom to see what her high school friends are like.
Sweet.
That should be interesting.
Anyway.
We should get Dan on here.
Yeah, well, I have an episode with him that is in the hopper to be edited that's actually fantastic. It might have to be 2 because we talked forever. But I would love to, get him on here. We could be like 4-way conversation, man. It'll be like crazy.
Man. Hell yes. How many people do you have on Hangouts?
A lot.
Let's just take the whole hospital.
I mean, yes. We can fit a lot of shit in this bag, guys.
Okay. And the thing is, we need to have a legit breakfast in person, in real life, one of these days.
Absolutely. And I vote that we come to you because the food here, I've already had it.
Done.
And I have not been to Medicine yet.
We could even have like
yes, Medicine, Wisconsin.
I'm pretty sure Wisconsin is not the French place.
Shut up.
What do you think? Like a live breakfast?
I think a live breakfast would be fantastic. I think we need to recruit a couple people, though. Brad and I actually have a couple people in mind that we would like to recruit. We haven't asked them yet, so we're going to withhold their names. But we do have a plan to recruit a couple people. The reason that we decided on these 2 people is because the last time we went to breakfast with them, it was actually before the Target debacle. It's a debacle officially, but the breakfast that we had was like so riotous with laughter. That was the one where I had to tell myself and everyone else to calm down because there were kids, and that was so that was a fun day. So we'll have to get them because maybe we can get some ruckus laughter again.
Sometimes it just feels good to be a little belligerent at breakfast. Drop some F-bombs. Fucking
just a little.
John Doe in 66 was a huge fucking douchebag. Blah, blah, blah. It just feels good to let it out. It's cathartic. Breakfast is kind of like going to the psychiatrist's couch. You just got to let it.
It's like a support group. It is. It's a support group for sure.
My name is Andrew, and I have a problem.
My name is Andrew, and I had a needy patient.
Right.
Oh, man, yeah. And I think that, depending on the setting, like, for example, if we go to the bar that has breakfast accommodations, then I think, we can sit in a booth. It feels a little more private. It's darker. It's a bar, So I feel like then we can cut loose a little bit more than when we're like sitting at a table in the center of a completely full diner. Like that's a little bit different. I think we do a good job of self-censoring while still being able to like really kind of cut loose. And usually by the time breakfast is over, I'm full. I'm just tired enough. Brad can drop me off and I can go kick my shoes off and fall face first into bed. And actually, I was telling people that I wanted to, the last time we went out to breakfast, my food it wasn't bad, but it's been better. It's hard making food for 8 million demanding people. But I was like, you know what? On a morning that I don't work, that my usual group of breakfast comrades work, I want to make breakfast for them at my house. I live like no miles hardly at all. I live like 1.5 miles from the hospital. Brad has to drive east anyway, so he might as well.
Yep. Oh.
Hello?
Did we lose her?
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
We lost the leader.
The leader's gone.
Can you hear me?
The leader's gone.
He's back.
Oh, God.
Can you hear me? Are you guys there? I don't know what happened. Did you guys get scared?
God.
We said
it
where
felt
the leader
like lost, Adrian. What the hell?
You guys, what did I tell you about the codependency aspect of this podcast, okay? You need to learn how to use Google on your own.
We need you, Adrian.
Yes, I know. Who's going to say inappropriate things if I'm not here?
Right.
So what's the moral of the story with breakfast? Like, what are we trying to convey to people here? We're saying like, oh, it feels good. You can have some drinks. We're all friends. Do you think that? And here's the question: do you guys think that liking? How do I want to say this? Does a good team make a good breakfast crew, or does a good breakfast crew strengthen the team? Like, is it a cyclical thing? Like, is this a philosophical question? Like,
Brad?
Me.
The teacher's calling on you, Brad. The whole class is listening.
I think you kind of have to think of both those things, because a good team sticks together. Mm-hmm. And to have a good breakfast conversation, you have to have a good team. And I think everyone works with people that they may rather not work with, and they are usually the ones that don't want to go to breakfast.
Yep.
So,
yeah. Although I have had a few people that don't usually come that have accepted, and come with us, and we've had a really lovely time. It's a little bit different dynamic, but not bad, not unpleasant.
I completely agree with you, Brad. I think it goes both ways. What I like about breakfast is that sharing and bonding that you do, and drinking and eating. It's just something that brings us closer together as people. So when we go to work, it's just nice to work with your buddies, because you can rely upon your buddies a lot more than you can complete strangers or people that you don't hang out with on a regular basis.
That's true. And that's not to be exclusive. That's just, some people you mesh with and some people you don't. And actually, that reminds me, I had forgotten about this momentarily. Well, by momentarily, I mean since we started talking about it. I originally started coming to nurse breakfast. I wasn't part of the initial crew. Like, I started coming as a nursing assistant. Like, it was something that people were already kind of doing, and I felt really lucky that, my nurses wanted little old me to come along. So, I started going, and as I got closer to graduating from school, I felt like it kind of helped me already be a part of the team, even though I hadn't worked with everybody as a nurse. Like, we went to dinner. We went to breakfast, Brad, the morning before, like the morning that I last saw you before you went back to Maine.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a ritual that has memories attached to it for me that are really pleasant and are kind of like the beginning of my career, really.
Yep. So, Brad, this is totally off subject right now.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I'm curious. I know you were a traveler, and from what I understand, Maine is a beautiful, beautiful place. Plus, the food I hear is amazing.
That's what I
Lobster
hear.
alone is worth staying there forever because I love lobster. So why the hell, aside from Adrianne, why the hell
That's
would
the
you
reason.
want to stay in the flat cornfields of Iowa?
You know, my boyfriend asked the same question.
You know, the one that lives in the Quad Cities.
The one I moved here for. You know, he asked me the same thing. He says, "Why did you move here again?" I was like, "That's a good question."
And you were like, because you didn't move east?
Yeah. Yeah. So he couldn't move because of his job. And
So
I figured,
even though that really sucks, and I'm sorry, I'm kind of glad because, hi, Brad, we work together tomorrow.
but I did tell Adrianne, this was a conversation about the manager thing. My old manager actually offered to help Adam find a job to keep me at my old hospital. So it was kind of nice to feel that way.
And that, folks, is how, well, it didn't keep the nurse in this case. However, like when you value your staff, you want to keep them. When you see that you have someone that not only is a skilled nurse, but is a team player and is someone that'll grow into their position, possibly take on new roles, hospitals need to find ways to keep them. And, you know, Brad, also as a side note, if you don't mind my saying, you know, didn't they offer to give you a little extra incentive to stay besides that? People can't see that I'm making a very like slick, suave money motion with my fingers.
Making it rain money.
I mean, I already made more there anyway, but
Right.
I was basically making night shift pay for day shift work, so that was fun.
Oh, okay.
So
I feel like I need to start singing Celine Dion's "Power of Love" right now.
So yeah, it was, and you have to be really happy, Adrianne, because I went from cardiac to lungs for you.
Yes, I'm so happy. And the only thing that would make me happier is if we weren't constantly stuck on opposite ends of the unit with busy assignments.
That's true.
So really, the only time I get to see you is on the commute when you pick me up at my house, and then we clock in.
Or if we get really lucky and they put us on the same end, but then
which I think has happened like twice,
and then the third person is a float usually.
Yeah, and then we both got, or no, we worked, and then the last 2 nights that we were supposed to work together, you got floated the first night, and I got floated the second night.
That was fun.
That was actually, guys, my first float to the surgical ICU.
She had a panic attack.
Were you shitting your pants a little?
I was just kidding.
No, here's the thing. Brad, the reason that, hold on, you upset me. I aspirated. The reason that I got so upset about that is because actually that was one of the rare situations where I didn't freak the fuck out when present. Here's the thing. I like challenge. I try to think of things that scare me as an opportunity to demonstrate my strengths and my ability to learn, but they were also merciful to me. So walking into SI, they gave me stable for ICU. They gave me people that were at least alert. Okay. So it's not like I had vented, like intensive vasopressor. Like we had a trauma come in that night. They're not giving me shit like that. And they stepped in when things got a little hairy, like literally at 7:01 when my patient who had been fine all night, heart rate went up to 176 for no fucking reason, completely asymptomatic, at 7:01 a.m. I actually, when I saw her heart rate, I actually looked at the clock because I went, you fucker. 7:01 a.m.
What did you guys do?
So the doctor, here's the nice thing. Here was the thing that I was like, oh, ICU, I love you. The alarm goes off. Doctor at the bedside. Boom.
That's the best thing.
Yes, I was like, I hope that when I clapped really loud, I didn't wake up my dog or Doug, because I got really excited just then. But yeah, I'm going to be quiet for a second. That way, if he did wake up, he'll go back to sleep. But no, he just started barking orders, and I shouldn't say barking, that sounds negative. He started giving orders, and I went to the Pyxis and realized that I had never overridden the Pyxis before, or the McKesson, or whatever, Accudose, whatever the fuck you guys call it, whatever it is. I didn't know how to I had never overridden to get meds out before. So I was kind of like, and I think a nurse that I'd worked with before years ago when I was a nursing assistant, I think she saw my eyes and she was like, here, let's log in just like this. See, just like, so I went, I gave them a Toprolol, and then he was like, let's get some MAG going. Let's get some KFOS. They got a 12 lead. Somebody called for a 12 lead. I didn't even have to do that. So I went in, did a set of vitals, was assessing the patient, hung the med, whatever. But the only moment at which I kind of lost my shit a little bit, and it was literally for like 3 milliseconds, he gave me the order, he gave me the metoprolol order. I got that. I did that just fine. And then he rattled off the MAG and the KFOS. And it took me a second to process that. And by the time I had processed it, I had forgotten the dosages that he had just given me. And the nurse that had been helping me all night, and that I had been helping her as well, she actually told me she thought I was a more experienced nurse than I am. So, but she looked over at me and noticed that I was like, what did he just say? And she goes, did you get that? And I didn't want to be like, yeah, So here's the thing. Here's the lesson, people. If you didn't hear it, fucking say you didn't hear it. So I said, I didn't get that. She repeated it to me, and I got the meds. So the lesson there is, in my head, I just wanted to be like, I don't want to admit that I just totally forgot what he said 3 seconds after he said it. But I also don't want to kill this patient because I didn't listen. So that's the lesson there, is I was like, no, I didn't hear that. Can you repeat that, please?
It's funny that happens right at the end of the shift too.
Literally. And the thing that I must say, here's the thing. I love the University of Iowa. While we're not 100% perfect, and I'm sure that people have stories that they could tell, which we're not going to get into, that fucking team immediately jumped into action. The doc was at the bedside. Somebody was calling for the lead, for the 12 lead. Somebody was helping me get into the Pyxis. Somebody was basically everything just went, and they all just did what the fuck they were supposed to do.
Yep.
And while I was the weak link in that, chain, then the day shift nurse, who I had gotten a report from the night before, was back, and he swooped in, did the assessment with me. I said, this is what I'm seeing. This is this. This is this. I was giving him updates at the bedside. I gave him updates on our other guy who was totally stable. And he was like, we're good. Go ahead and get out of here. And I walked out of there at 7:29.
Hey,
I was like, ICU, you get a gold fucking star from me. That was I originally was scared when they were like, you can go to CV or you can go to SI. And I was like, well, at least in SI I have a chance of getting lungs or neuro or something that I know about. CV, I don't want your hearts. I'm not ready for hearts.
I want to go there.
I get that. But so Steph went to CV and I went to SI, and I was scared. And I did say, I'm a new nurse, but they exceeded my expectations. And even though I'm still nervous, I'm not oh yeah, I got it. Clearly I'm green as I could possibly be. But I learned 8 million things that night.
Well, that's a really neat story. I'm glad that you took a lot away from that. And I'm glad that the experience was positive, because as you know, ICU can it changed so rapidly. And fortunately, did she respond to the metope? Did it work?
Yes. And then also, so this was a person who had some intellectual disability, and so we were trying to get her to do vagal maneuvers, so we had her blowing on her thumb. So it took some creative instruction, because she was going
right.
So I had to be okay, now do it without making any sound. And each time she did that, her rate came down a little bit. She was completely asymptomatic. Her heart rate was, eventually it came back down, but everybody was at her bedside taking care of shit by the time I left. So
Brad, did you work cardiac ICU?
Not ICU, but step down. But it was pretty close to an ICU because we did a lot of drips and a lot of things that ICUs did. They used to call us, we call ICU, where I'm from, SICU, Special Care Unit. So they used to call us the next SICU where they would go.
So you went from SICU to rescue?
Yeah.
Oh.
But on a lighter, here's a little bit.
I'm going to start calling you Skewy.
I have a little bit of a lighter story than Adrianne, but
oh, good. Okay.
I used to work with this wonderful nurse that everything when we were on would go wrong, and there was this one morning where the code alarm went off, and we hightailed it down to where it was, and then someone comes out, oh no, someone hit it by mistake, and we start walking back. It goes off again, and we run into action again, and then they're like, no, it's a mistake again, and we're like,
what?
Okay, let's get the fuck out of here so we don't get caught in something we don't want to be in. So the next morning, someone posted on our Facebook pages, it's like a little video. I don't know if it's like a clown dodging landmines. And they were like, this is what you two look like. Because call bells were going off, and one of us would answer them, trying to get to the locker room to get the hell out of there. So it was hilarious.
Yeah, I posted the morning after ICU. I posted a meme that was an image of someone jetpacking out of a car, and it said, "When you GTFO, the second you give report before anything else happens."
It's horrible.
So how do you like rescue so far for you? Well, you took an assignment there, didn't you?
Yeah. I worked on rescue for 6 months. And then I went back to the cardiothoracic surgery. Definitely rescue to me I think it's a little easier than where I was. And a lot of it's not step down as it used to be when I was there a while ago. A lot of it's become more med surge. So that's just my only thing about it. But
I haven't been there in almost 2 years, so I don't know the population. I suspect it hasn't changed much, but to medical step down and trauma step down, I'd have to say, aside from the vent, I would agree in terms of the patient population. I mean, you do get some sick people with the high flows and the continuous BiPAP, so I get that, and that's step down material with your high O2 demand, because general floors can't even touch that. Or they just don't want to.
And that's it. We get a lot of off-service patients because they have increased respiratory needs, and the units are scared. They're not familiar with BiPAP. They don't suction. They're not,
Right.
Yeah. But I think we do have a really broad spectrum. We have walkie-talkies that go out to dinner. They come back. They get their antibiotics. They're fine. And then we also have patients who Brad and I have had the last few days that's been there long term and has multiple issues going on, really involved. There's some drama. It's just it's kind of messy. So you have to be careful with how you describe the patient population, because some people are totally chill. You give them their meds, they're fine, and other people, you're in their room every 15 minutes for 12 hours. So it just depends.
I'm not discounting your work, Adrianne.
No, and I don't feel defensive. I want to paint an accurate picture. But what Brad is saying is true. There's a lot of med surge, but we're getting med surge that are people that are on continuous BiPAP, or they will desat to the 60s.
Right.
So.
But you have to understand that I also come from the general floor where I worked was able to do a lot of cardiac drips. Mm-hmm. So I am still, even that was probably rescue. And then where I worked was probably more like CV without the vents.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
yeah. And I'm glad that we're not super cardiac heavy. I mean, I need more training, but I don't want to be put in a situation where I'm oh.
Well, I'm gonna wrap it up, folks.
Yeah, that's good.
I need some stuff to do.
I need to make some bacon. Well, you guys, let's not get totally careless with this. Let's wrap it up right, shall we?
Yeah.
Right.
Guys, this has been another episode of Medroom Chronicles. You've gotten all three of us and a whole bunch of random information you probably didn't count on, but we hope that it was helpful. We love that you're subscribing and listening, so please keep doing that. Share us, and we'll be back again. Yeah, tell us what you think. We want topic ideas, and if you think you have something to contribute and you want to be a guest on the show, you should email us at medroomchronicles@gmail.com. And we're still in the early stages, so give us a minute, but we'll figure it out, guys.
Maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah. give us a symbolic minute. All right, guys.
Good hanging out with
great. You. Yeah, I'm gonna go make some breakfast now.
Have fun.
It is 12:20 a.m. Good morning, everybody. Happy nursing.
Morning.
See you later.
Bye.